Happening right now on Sports Extra, the Braves are the hottest team in baseball, and they've got a pretty easy schedule coming up this week. So what exactly is going right for the Bravos? Mandatory minicamp, it begins this week for the Falcons, so we are getting you ready for what to expect. And Sports Shakeup, two major announcements that shocked the sports world this week. We're going to break down the Messi move and the golf merger that has everybody talking. It is always busy here on Sports Extra, and it starts right now. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday and welcome into Sports Extra. The temperatures, they are heating up outside, and so are the Braves. What a week it was for the Braves, right? And let's just pretend that Sunday's loss didn't happen. We can forget about that one. We'll talk about it, though. Let's get right into it, and let me direct your attention to this. Before Sunday's loss, the Braves had won 7 straight games, including a sweep of the rival Mets. Atlanta just keeps expanding their lead in the division. It is so good to see, and after an up-and-down month of May, the start to June is pretty much exactly what the Braves needed.
You know, we were struggling there for a while, just weren't hitting on all cylinders. It happens. It'll happen again before this thing's over. But you know what, when you hang in there and, you know, you give yourself a chance to come back and do what we just did, which was really good. And I had a lot of energy, a lot of life. You know, it was good to win, you know, those games like that.
Yeah, so much to talk about when it comes to this week as a whole. And we have Dan Matthews from 680 The Fan here. He's got a little bit of wet feet, right?
Just a little bit. The wet weather got me.
Just a little bit. I couldn't protect him from that. We also have my friend Scott Beer here from the Falcons. Hello.
Hello.
No wet feet for you?
Nope, totally dry.
Just some baseball that you've been doing.
Yeah, lots and lots of youth baseball.
You see Scott and you think Falcons, which we are going to talk Falcons, but we do want to talk about the Braves first. You said youth baseball. Well, this baseball team, the Braves, Major League Baseball, they were so hot. We said 7 straight wins. Let's take a look at these standings right now because the Braves just continue to dominate at the top. However, the Marlins, they're sneaking in there right behind them. But really, Scott, this was just such a good week. Quite a few come from behind wins for Atlanta. What did you like about this week?
This was a team builder of a week. When you go through these types of stresses and come out on the right side of it, that's how teams come together. Top of the step cheerleading. That's what you want, and you see and you read. How many times do we talk about guys pulling for each other? And if you're confident in the 8th and 9th that you can do it, then that confidence helps you win later and later in the season. This was a really good stretch for them, obviously on the scoreboard, but psychologically as well.
Top of the step cheerleading, I really like that. Throw it again, am I right? That's kind of what we heard on social media all week long. Dan, this was such a fun series when we think about the Mets. It's always the one that people have circled on their calendar. And for the Braves to get a sweep against New York, what does that mean?
No, it was amazing. I mean, you just showed the standings right there, and now they're 9.5 games back of the Braves right now. I mean, how would you like to have that payroll and that roster being the way it is, where you can't find offense anywhere? And oh, by the way, you're going to be without Pete Alonso for an extended period of time. I guess our good buddy Sal Licata up in New York is going to be able to take a few more digs at us. Sal, maybe a piece of advice for you on your show. Stop relying on the callers. Maybe actually create some content, and that might get you through the long summer that's going to be for your New York Mets.
Well, I didn't expect that today on the show, the look into the camera, and, I appreciate it, Dan.
Sal's
I like
a huge viewer, so this will get to him.
I like it. You know what I also like? Young guys who can pitch well, and A.J. Smith-Shawver has been such a nice surprise. He's 20 years old. The dude has literally been pitching for like 3 years. 3 years ago, he just started pitching for real, and now he gets his first big league start. Remember, he did pitch back out west. But in front of Truist Park, he was really good. He ran into a couple of trouble, a few late, I think it was in the 4th inning, he had some trouble, but he was really surprisingly good. What did you think?
The Braves are a factory of talent these days, and I think that this is another guy who can step in, and you look at their pitching depth both in the minor leagues and in the majors, and this is just another supreme talent. They just kind of keep coming, which I think obviously gives you hope for what this team can do this season. But if you look off into the distance, they are still well set up with young pitching talent on controllable contracts.
And thank goodness for him, too, because this rotation had a lot of question marks. We'll get into Mike Soroka in just a second, but I do want to talk about a guy who continues to chase, let's say, at the 50-50 club. Maybe Ronald Acuna Jr. had a big weekend, specifically a big Saturday, Dan. What is working for Acuna? Because I feel like it's everything.
I mean, just pure, just great talent. I mean, he does things that there are a lot of guys in this league of elite players that they just can't do. I mean, I was in the building yesterday. That home run he hit to right center field was unbelievable.
So
it probably got about 15 feet off the ground, but it just was rocketed out there, and it was one of those, if it hits the wall, it might bring the wall down. That's how hard he hit that baseball. But it was one of those, if you're in the stands, you see it coming at you, get out of the way, because that ball's going to hurt if you try to catch it. And, I mean, he's just unbelievable. I mean, he gets it done with the arm. He gets it done with the glove. He gets it done with the wheels. And he gets it done with the bat as well. I mean, true five-tool player in every sense of the word. And he's a guy that's been outstanding here. It's amazing to think what he can do when he's actually got his legs underneath him.
Continuing to play like he has something to prove, right? He's back from those injuries, and this dude just continues to be so impressive. I'm pretty sure that's going to continue all season long. Michael Soroka, I mentioned him before, sent down to AAA Gwinnett on Monday, which feels like forever ago, but it happened this week. This was someone who only got 2 starts. You know, he hadn't been in Major League Baseball in over 1,000 days. He gets 2 starts for the Braves and then sent back down, which is frustrating for Michael, I know. He doesn't even get to pitch at Truist Park yet. When are we going to see him again, Scott?
Thought it was a quick hook, right? I mean, but look, this team is in win now and win a lot mode. The NL East is still competitive, and when I look at it, I think maybe he's got to get a couple of starts going to build some momentum in the minor leagues before we see him back there. I don't want to put an exact timetable on it, but it might not be tomorrow.
Sure.
You know, it might take some time.
Yeah, and it's crazy because the Braves did say that they weren't going to call him up until he could consistently stay there, but when he did come out, he just wasn't commanding. He didn't have some of the stuff that he thinks and knows that he can produce. A little bit more time in Gwinnett, and now you got A.J. Smith-Shawver, who's a nice cushion for you as well. Dan, I want to talk to you about somebody who we don't talk enough about, at least in my opinion. 39-year-old Jesse Chavez.
Let's go.
Is he an all-star? Because, oh my gosh.
That's the thing. If I'm Brian Snitker, I'm on the phone to Rob Thompson when he starts to fill out his list of reserves and pitchers and everybody that he's going to take to Seattle for the All-Star game. And I think this guy is somebody that you pine for. I mean, he has been a baseball lifer. Everywhere else he has not been what he's been these past couple of years for the Braves. And I know that some people say there's a shelf life to what we like to call on Chuck and Chernoff, high leverage Jesse Chavez. Look, I'm fine with trying to find out that shelf life, because whenever you put him in a huge spot, like on Saturday, you ask him to go 2 innings, he gives you 6 up, 6 down. He has done everything you've asked of him this year, including throwing him out there and extending him a little bit during some bullpen games. This guy's been unreal, and he's been an incredible bright spot for a group that's really needed it.
He's been on this team before. I feel like this is like his comfort level here. He really likes to be in a Braves uniform. I don't know what it is.
Elite hat game, too. Elite hat game.
Unbelievable. The brim and the feathers.
It's
it's so nice. His White House outfit, Google it. It's tremendous. Let's talk about something that shocked the sports world. Okay, let's switch from baseball for 1 second. Lionel Messi. Everybody knows who he is. Even if you don't know his first name, you know Messi. He is one of the biggest superstars when it comes to sports, you guys. He is signing with Inter Miami. What the heck? I mean, he's coming to Major League Soccer. What does it do for that league?
Have you seen the secondary ticket market for
did.
wherever
Especially
Miami
here.
is going? Even here, it's hundreds of dollars just to see this guy. And look, we've seen a lot of older European soccer stars come over here. David Beckham, Henry, Wayne Rooney. Lionel Messi is on a different level than all of those guys.
So
he is an icon across the world. Jerseys are going to be sold everywhere. It will draw attention to this league, and I think it's really important. Now, can they surround him with enough to win? But this is a huge deal. I'm a big soccer guy. I played soccer. Massive deal for MLS to get him to come stateside.
Dan, did you ever believe Joseph Martinez goes to Miami and that's the big storyline and everybody's talking about it? It gets overshadowed very quickly because his teammate is Lionel Messi. Did you ever think that was going to happen?
He is LeBron, he is Kobe, he is Michael Jordan, he is all of those names. And, I mean, we just saw what he just did for his home country of Argentina and willing them to win the World Cup. I mean, that's how good of a player he is. And, you know, coming to Inter Miami, that's going to be a huge pickup for them. And, you know, also, too, I mean, it's, you know, by transition, a huge pickup for the league. I mean, because that's been the number one thing of MLS. The good guys end up going overseas and playing in England and Germany and France and any of these other places. Now you get one of the best in the world to say yes to here. You wonder if that's going to start to drive up the revenue. And if it drives up the revenue, then that gives you a chance to be able to match and try to go head to head with those countries on those transfer prices.
Got a feeling mid-September in the Benz, that place is going to be packed to the brim. Speaking of Miami, let's talk about 2 do-or-die situations, both in the NBA and NHL finals. We'll start with basketball. Monday night, you have Game 5 in Denver. You guys, the Nuggets look like they're going to do it. It's a dangerous basketball team. Miami has been a really scrappy team and a surprising team, I think, but How do you think the finals are going to shake out, Scott?
I mean, you look at Denver, what Murray is doing, and Joker is a walking triple-double.
It's unbelievable.
Just every single night. And I think for Miami to get back into this thing, let's not forget, they're what, a 7 or 8 seed maybe?
8 seed, yeah.
8 seed. It's going to take some Jimmy Butler magic. Now, we saw he didn't want to touch the Eastern Conference trophy.
Yeah.
He only wants to touch his finals trophy. If he's
it.
going to touch a trophy, he better get going right now.
I used to think that it would be the Heat in 7, and I was trying to live by that. I'm probably going to die by that because, honestly, the Nuggets are so good, Dan.
They're so complete. I mean, as Scott just talked about, too, with Joker and with Murray and just this entire team. And, Michael Malone just has that team playing outstanding basketball. It's almost kind of Spurs-esque, if you will, in terms of what we saw when Greg Popovich had Tim Duncan and Tony Parker and everybody doing what they were doing. And look, fundamental basketball wins, having stars wins, and they've been able to just build this team up over time and really allow for that continuity to show up and show out. And I would be very shocked and surprised, unfortunately, if it was not closed out tomorrow night.
Fortunately for me, we've run out of time, so we don't get to talk about the Panthers. I only have 4 hours of sleep, and I don't want to talk about them going to Game 5 because I think they're going to win when they go back to Vegas.